nataka Bauna numa Nananda tonlasa Mai suvana numa tikona Fanwarongo nanomo nivanua
Scotty, yeah.
Where's Scotty? Hello, Scotty.
Hello, David. Hi.
Look, good to see you. Good to see you.
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
Good evening. Evening, Scotty.
Evening.
Evening.
Lovely. Honestly, your latte looks better every week when I look behind you, Scotty.
Well, that's familiar to you, yeah.
It's a Bona latte.
Highcliffe Castle, that one.
Right. Well, we'll have to pop back there then, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do it.
Afternoon tea.
I can't see on my phone. Has Steve Walker finished his fourth pizza?
No, he's not. It's still jarring. Still jarring.
Still jarring.
This is the main meal of the day.
No, part of the jarring.
We
Part
haven't
of the
eaten since this
jarring.
morning. Let me eat, boys.
Oh, I didn't put Scotty's full correct name. I'll fix that. Crew
No,
bar.
that's all right.
No, it's
That's
not
all
all right. No, we do things right in the crew bar.
Did you see
Crew bar H. There you go. You got it.
Did you see the message from Bobo?
Which one was
that?
that?
The message from Bobo is lost in the desert.
Yeah. He sent some incredible pictures, and I'll get them in there when we talk about it or something. Yeah.
Up on a camel.
Yeah.
I hope he wasn't being serious.
Is he right in the desert? Yeah, he's lost in the desert on a camel with no name.
Okay, Scotty. I'm talking business for a second. So this is privileged information. So Ray texted me back. I said to Ray, just checking in, Ray. I will text you when it's a good time to come in. And he said, yes, I'm all set. As soon as you get your text, I will join. So it's all set. We're good. It's okay, Scotty. We're just talking business. That's all right.
Yeah. Might have been early. Yeah.
No. It's a big one today. It's okay.
Colonel,
Yes?
is Pete Stevens still erecting the fence?
I haven't had any information from him, so I don't know. I send him a text. Yeah.
I won't send one on the phone.
No. You don't. No, you don't do that. No.
I've flipping lost everybody.
Yeah.
You get a bit windswept down there, Dave, in the forest.
So yeah, it was windswept. And Fruity, were you windswept? Fruity?
He's gone. He's disappeared.
Oh, was you not
Living in
there?
trees, David.
Oh, I can't see. I'm on with Scotty at the moment. But yes, Scotty, it was very breezy. I did take a bit of footage in the garden, but the dove managed to stay put in the nest.
Oh yeah.
But only just. I ought to. Yeah, I sent it to Colonel. Actually, yeah, it was quite flipping blowy, but he's all right. She.
Yep. Graham Billett's coming in.
Oh, that's nice.
Remind me, is he? Where is he? Is he in England?
No, he's in California, isn't he?
Of course, that's what I get mixed up. But you're right.
Graham is, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere.
Can't bloody find his mugshot. I've got it here. Oh, for fuck's sake.
John, you really do need to get a decent bloody file system.
Well, no, it's just all on the phone, but for some reasons I got all these hundreds of mugshots, and the one I want is gone.
But you keep losing stuff.
Well, I'm not telling you. I know it.
Great.
Evening, Graham.
Graham, Colonel just wants to make sure he's got the right face for the photo on the flipping crew bar.
Actually, I don't think I have a mugshot to discharge book of Graham. If you do I, Graham?
I've sent it to you twice.
Oh, yeah, right. You have. I'll find it. I know. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Colonel, have a look through your filing system for it.
He
I got
hasn't
it.
got one.
No. I found it. I found it. It's good. It's all good.
there you go.
It's found it. Great.
I mean, I can send it on a weekly basis if you want.
No. I've got it. I've got it. Okay, it's all good. All right.
See, Malcolm's trying to join without any luck.
Oh, really?
Malcolm Williams.
You all right then, Mr. B?
Well, I thought I'd join you today because I need some cheering up because Leicester just lost to Wolves.
We might not see Gizzy tonight either then.
Sorry?
We probably won't see Gizzy tonight either then.
Well, yeah, not unless he's commiserating.
Sorry. Did you lose at Wolves?
Yeah, it was a good game. We should never have lost, but
Right.
I got someone calling on Messenger. If you can fix that.
Dave, we won.
Yes,
Dave?
you did, Stephen.
Yeah.
Who's coming in? I can't see the on the audio.
And Bobo.
Oh, it's Bobo. Flipping
Bobo
great.
and Hilda.
Hi,
guys.
Well done,
Camel.
Bobo.
Camel-less.
What, Bobo? I'm a bit concerned. Where's the camel?
I'm afraid I had a little bit of a technical problem. I couldn't get it on the roof of the four-wheel drive, but we're going to pick it up tomorrow.
Good.
Did it have a hump then?
But
It did have the hump.
in days gone by, you could have put the vehicle on the camel. Obviously, that's what they.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
That's right.
That was the caravan.
Oh, that was the caravan. The caravan camels. Well done, Scott.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah,
We got it.
we got
It was a great
Yeah,
tour.
yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Good.
Oh.
Just to report, the
Right.
pizza was very nice.
Sorry?
The pizza was very nice. I've just
Mm.
devoured
Oh, the
pizza.
pizza. Yeah.
Oh, have
which
you?
which
Oh,
pizza
nice.
was that, Stephen?
Very nice. Thank you.
Colonel,
Yes.
technical question. Is the phone that I'm using better hold up horizontally or picture on that?
No,
way?
it's better. Had you had it on sideways?
Put it on its
Oh, I'm
side.
going to do mine sideways
That
as
way.
well. Just
Come
so
on,
you know.
Pete.
That's it, Dave. That's good. Here
That's fine.
comes Pete. Yeah. Here comes Pete Stevens.
hello. Bobo.
Here's the erector. Eh?
And Hilda. Pete, how's your erection for the fence?
It's very wet, very cold, and very
Oh.
broken.
Oh,
Oh dear.
We got to go back tomorrow. It's horrible out there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
no
it's
good.
horrible, wet and windy, really bad. Hilda, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you? Who's the nearest to
Lovely.
London?
It's good to see you, John. Lovely. Good. You battened down.
Yes, I've just been out and sorted out my furniture on the balcony actually because it all blew over a couple of days ago. Lucky I didn't lose any of it.
Oh, no good.
Yeah,
So I've just been out and
Yeah.
secured it because we're expecting high winds again tonight.
definitely. Did you secure your trampoline as well?
Yes, yeah. That's the only jump I get these days.
I ended up with a lot of garden furniture in my back garden this morning. I don't know who did it to me, but it was there.
Oh dear. Oh God. Oh,
Morris is coming, Dave.
Evening, everyone.
Evening, Morris.
There's Morris.
Evening. Hi.
We got Graham.
It looks blowy behind you, Morris. Is that ship just been washed up ashore?
Not far off it.
Yeah. Look at
Derek
it.
will know what it is.
Derek.
Yeah, what is it? Calais or Dover?
It was the European Pathway
Oh, yeah.
being converted into the Pride of Canterbury
Oh, right. No.
at Bremerhaven.
I didn't look too hard in those days.
I've got some photos of the after work parties that took place in Bremerhaven, but I won't post those.
Yeah.
Oliver Steer.
Ollie Steers coming
You-
in.
Can I ask a quick question? When you guys were on the ferries out of Dover, did you know two brothers called Appleyard,
Yes.
Yeah.
Cliff and Richard?
Yes.
Yeah.
They both
Not the Cliff Richard.
got Torremolinos.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I've never been in Richard's, but Cliff's is what's it called? The Mad Monk. It's down at the Carawaya in Torremolinos.
Wow. I didn't know. I haven't seen Cliff for many, many, many years.
Wasn't one of them the QM?
Don't think so. I can't.
Oh,
I
it's a
know.
different
I know
Appleyard.
Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a brother Richard as well. He's got a
Yeah.
bar there as well, but I've never found it.
Well, Cliff was definitely on board services, but I don't know about Richard.
Actually, if you go on Facebook, Morris, and
Yeah.
in the Mad Monk, Torremolinos, it will come up with their page.
Wow. Okay. Cliff Appleyard. I'm going to write that.
Evening, Oliver.
G'day, g'day.
You all right,
Hey,
mate?
Ollie.
Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
So- But Ollie, you were on page 10 of my pictures on the phone, so I'm sorry I missed out on you to start with.
You what?
I'm on my phone. I
Oh,
can't
right.
see I can't see everybody, but I can see you now. You're looking
Well,
good.
listen, David, that's why they pop up. Just say who's coming in to give you a
Yes.
warning who's coming in.
Yeah, I got a question for Morris. Morris, were you a purser on the ships?
I did do purser for off and on for quite a while, but I eventually my last signed on rank was the staff manager, which was the sort of personnel side.
Okay, because tonight we'll have Alistair in and Peter Pratt, so there'll be three of you.
Well, Brendan was a signed on person, so I did it off and on for quite a while, but I never actually got signed on. I was signed on as a staff manager in there, which is more the personnel side of it.
All right.
Well, Alistair said he would be in, but he might not be terribly sober.
I know that's fine.
Why has he been drinking
What's
with
he doing?
you, Fruity?
No, we didn't even have a video drink.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good at all. But
listen, Johnny, we're up to
no,
11.
I know. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes before we get a mystery guest coming.
It's not a mystery because you give the
Yeah.
game away.
No, I know. It's what.
It was only a stage whisper.
The only surprise will be for the one who's coming in.
John, listen, don't come in, and they'll not know who's coming. Next day, it's splattered all over the ring.
Well, I know because I thought about it in the world of the TV and movie business, Steve. It was a teaser. You got to give people a teaser.
Yeah.
Oh, that was tonight. No, that was
Yeah.
the team tonight.
No. And by the way, before I forget, Dave, as an anchorman, he should have been a comedian on the telly because he slipped something in this morning, which was a bit raw, but it was very funny, and I picked it up immediately.
What happened then, Johnny?
Oh no, I'll get back to it later, but it's very clever what you said.
Oh, crikey, it must have been that good. I've bloody forgotten.
Okay, well, Steve says, "Are you having trouble getting in?" And you said, "Oh yeah."
Okay,
And you
all
said,
right,
yes.
all right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was funny. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
So Graham, all over in is it sunny California or?
Yeah, it's pretty sunny over here at the moment. little chilly
Yeah.
first thing, but warms up during the day, so I can't complain. Not compared with what the UK's been getting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But no, Graham, obviously Pratty's coming in very shortly. You sailed with Pratty quite a few times, didn't you?
Oh yeah, many times, and I was also I also spent 6 months with him at college in Ealing. We actually shared a flat together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think he actually he mentions that in the second book that he wrote. So he didn't go into a lot of detail, but I think we spent more time in the pub than actually at the college, because it was pretty boring stuff.
I've got the book here now. What page is it on?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
hang on. Let me just. I'll get that. Hang on.
David?
Yes,
No,
sir.
Jim.
Let's have a look. I've got I'm scrolling. Oh, is
No.
it? No, Noel's coming in. Good. Noel, good to see you.
Hi, everybody.
I
No.
Well,
Has it stopped
welcome.
blowing in
Are you
Ireland,
the
Dad?
sheltered side of Ireland?
Has it stopped blowing?
Do you want him in?
Yes, I'm on top of it, right? Yeah, I told him to come in.
I've just come in from skiing there.
Excellent, brilliant.
I was water skiing.
Oh, lovely. Look,
I was
windsurfing. No, well, look, we're going back over to the West Coast again. We've just been with Graham in California. We're going further north, and we're going up north of Vancouver. Can you hear us, Ray Zachary? Welcome to
Yes,
the
I
group
can.
Right, a round of applause for Ray for coming in. Well done. Great stuff. Well done. You're all good, Ray.
I'm great. Yeah, I don't have it on gallery view, so I can't see who else is there.
Well, no, you need to do that.
Yeah, so hang on. I'm not quite sure how to do that. Hang on.
It's in the right corner. It says view.
Meeting settings.
No, view on the top right corner.
Okay, done.
It says view. It says speaker, gallery, immersive, full screen.
More.
You got gallery.
Hey, that's Malcolm.
No. Oh, I got it. Top left corner.
Is that Skagway Malcolm or Malcolm Cameron?
There we go.
Gallery.
Hi, Ollie.
Malcolm, you're on mute.
Hi, John. I can't see because my eyes are not that great. I have to look really close to see the names.
I've got their names big, like John says Hilda, Ray.
Yeah, I've got that. Hi, Hilda.
Hi.
Malcolm, you're on mute, Malcolm.
Where's Malcolm?
There you go.
Hello. We got all the bellboys coming in together now.
Is that Malcolm? Is that Malcolm that I went to Merchant Naval Training College with?
Correct, Ray. Correct.
Hang on a second.
That's Skagway Malcolm, right?
Yes, correct.
Well, I get you mixed up with Malcolm the cameraman. I'm sorry.
Skagway Marathon.
I don't have you, but you might recognise a couple of guys there.
I recognise that good-looking guy on the right or left with the officer tankers. Wonderful.
Are you still running?
Oh no, not as much as you used to do. We're all getting a tad older, I think. Yeah, Ray.
Yeah, me as well. Actually, I still walk most days. I'm going to adjust this. But
as most of us do, yeah. We're not in wheelchairs yet, Ray.
Yeah.
we might be older than you, Ray, but we're all managing to still walk as well. All right.
Let's see, Ray. How have you managed to keep your youthful looks, young man?
I have no idea.
It's got to be that
if they are
Vancouver air.
youthful, I don't know if they're that youthful. I actually am pretty fit.
Right.
Like not boasting. I'm in the last 2 or 3 years, I really worked on my personal fitness, and I am pretty fit for my age. I put younger people to shame sometimes.
So listen, Ray, I haven't been on the crew bar for quite a few weeks for various reasons. I'm actually in a cottage now in North Wales, a few days away. But
Okay.
I'm interested, actually. Give us a quick overview of your life so far, my friend.
Well, a quick overview. So after leaving the sea the first time, which was in 1984, actually, it's a shame that Colin's not on the call, because Colin Doughty, Donut, he was one of the persons instrumental in making me go back to sea, but he probably doesn't realize that. I cut myself off from everybody, and I have huge regrets. I've already told Dave this. I have huge regrets of not being in touch with everybody throughout my life. It's part of I'm a bit of an introvert, although I don't appear to be an introvert, and I was not an introvert when I worked on the ships. Mm-hmm. But after leaving the sea the first time, I actually sold real estate, and I can't remember what that is called in the UK, but I sold houses for a while, for about a year and a half, and I just missed the sea so much. I ended up going back, and I went back on the Royal Princess, and then I met my wife on the Royal Princess. We've been married we've been together 35 years now.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, and
how did you go
still together?
How did you go from being a bellboy to being a bar manager, Ray?
Well, hard work and learning from the people around me. I actually never thought that I would end up doing that. And those early years on the Sun Princess really set a pattern for my life, because they made me understand that I could pretty much do anything that if I worked hard, I could pretty much do anything. And I've actually done a whole bunch of different jobs, surprising some of them. And but I left the sea in '95. I left the sea because my wife and I were thinking of having kids, and I just felt like it wasn't fair on her or the kids to continue working at sea. And so, without really any plan, we just decided to leave. And my wife was born in Alberta, but she grew up in a place that you guys had sailed by many, many times, a little village called Lund, which is almost directly across from Campbell River, about halfway up Vancouver Island. And the ships sail by there in the summer every night. And we ended up buying a house in a small town there nearby called Powell River. And after doing a couple of different jobs, I was a hotel manager or assistant hotel manager at a hotel that went bankrupt 3 months after I started there. Not because of me. I ended up doing a computer course, and just by chance found out about a job at the local pulp and paper mill. And so the last 20 years I've worked in IT support at the local pulp and paper mill. And I started as a PC support technician, really not knowing what I was doing. I had learned something about computers on the ships because computers were starting to come in '95. Yeah. And I worked my way up to director. But then, after 20 years, giving my heart and soul to that company, I was terminated without cause after another company came in and took the parent company over. But the paper industry was struggling, and we sort of knew that. And I was made redundant because they already had some from the parent company doing basically what I was doing. So that was actually 3 years ago. I was given a good severance, but I'm sort of semi-retired now. I'm still looking for those of you who've seen my profile on LinkedIn, I'm still looking for work. But my whole life, literally, I learned almost everything that I learned working on the Sun Princess in the first 6 years of my life.
I have to agree.
Everything. Yeah. And it was a really fantastic environment to work in.
Ray, I'm
Yeah.
just going to hold fire there for a second, because if you have a look, I presume you've got your backdrop after looking at Angelo Locatelli's backdrop
No.
with his staircase as well.
Yeah, like my
Locatelli's
staircase.
coming now
Yeah.
Is
as
that
well,
Angelo there?
and Stu
All
from
right.
Spain.
And
Yes, I-
Susan, yeah.
Great.
Angelo, how are you?
Fine, thank you, fine.
You're still in California,
Yes, San Diego.
in San Diego.
Yeah, it's a little place called La Jolla in San Diego.
Angelo, I mean, first of all, I had no idea that you were still on. I haven't been in the crew bar for 27 years, right? And what I was just sort of saying that after I left the sea, in both times when I left the sea, I pretty much cut myself off from everybody because I missed it so much. And the only way I think I could stay sane and focus on what I was doing was to basically just throw myself into my new career, whatever it was.
Mhm.
But 7 years ago, my parents, my dad died 7 years ago, and I went back to the UK, and they had moved a couple of times, and I never really emigrated from the UK. I emigrated from whatever ship I was on last, which I think was the Golden Princess. I moved from there to Canada, and so I never really had any of my personal belongings. They were all in the attic at my parents' house, which was in Devon, Exmouth in Devon. And about 7 years ago, I mailed a few boxes from there on a slow boat. It took like 3 months. And when they finally arrived, I stuck them in my closet, and they've been there ever since. But the colonel asking me to come up with my discharge book, which I couldn't find anywhere, prompted me to look in these boxes. And in these boxes, I not only found like hundreds of photographs from the Sun Princess days and later ships that I worked on, but I also found the written warning that you and I received for dumping bottles and cans in Glacier Bay, which is a story unto itself, right?
Yeah. Funny enough, I do have them also. I still have them.
You still
I
have
know
it?
what they are. I still have
Probably, Angelo, you've got a lot more recorded warnings than Ray has, though, haven't you?
No, that was the only one.
I also have a written warning for poor timekeeping because I was late for gangway duty. Actually, the day I saw it was the day before my birthday. So God knows what I was like on my actual birthday, because I'm sure I was probably worse than what I was on the day before my birthday. But I do remember that contract. I can't remember the bartender's name, and some of you will perhaps remind me if he's still around. But he was a Scottish bartender. He was a bit cranky, and he had a broken finger, which for some altercation.
Don Donald.
Don Donald.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
actually,
gave
Ray. Sorry to say, but you have just reminded us, because sometimes when someone brings up a topic, we do ask some of the others their particular experience, and you've just triggered it off for those that may, and I presume I might be the only unlucky one, along with Taffy, that we did get a warning. But I was wondering if any of you have got a story of a warning, and when it comes to Taffy and me, we'll say it in unison together. But in fact, Graham, in California, did you receive a warning yourself? And if not, did you hand them out willy-nilly anyway?
I never ever received one myself, thank goodness. I don't know why, but I just didn't get caught.
He's coming in.
But certainly prepared a lot and had
Hello,
to
Peter.
stand with the captain while he delivered the warnings. So it was always always
that's
fun.
right. And I know that Hilda, you were bollocked, but quite innocently, weren't you? With Sammy.
It wasn't an official one, but I
did
did get a warning. I think it was my second trip to sea, and I was on the old Oriana.
Oh,
okay.
It was in port side, and the notice came round that we were sailing at midnight. Well, myself and my cabin mate, we finished work about 9 o'clock, I think, and he said, "Oh, coming ashore for a drink." I said, "Oh, I don't know." He said, "Come on." So we hadn't even bothered to change. We were still in our checks and jackets. So off we go. And we were in a bar there called Cecil's Bar. And quite a few crew members were there. It wasn't far from the ship. We were at walking distance. Anyway, we sat there having a drink. And all of a sudden I looked round and I said, "You sure we sailed at midnight?" I said, "Everybody's gone." So he said, "Yes, it's midnight." Anyway, we had finished our drink and wandered back to the ship. We get to the gangway, and at the top of the gangway, there's the master at arms and all the entourage with our passports, which you had to hand in when you went ashore there. The ship was sailing at 11 o'clock. I think we got on board about 10 to. And the next day, we're up in front of it was the Commodore Edgecombe, and it was the full Union Jack over the desk and all the officers in a half circle round, and we're marched in from the bridge, the master at arms, etc., hats off and faced the Commodore. And we just got a verbal warning not to do it again, basically, got a wrist smacked, but and told that we had to check at the gangway when we went ashore to make sure that the ship was sailing when it was supposed to, sort of thing. But that's the only time I had an official warning. I had one or two bollockings, but nothing serious.
Yeah.
Could I interject? The warning similar to being logged?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a step before you get logged, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it was 3.
I've been logged a few times, but we won't discuss that today.
Yeah, I think Ray wants to say hi to Peter Pratt.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Ray. It's good to be in touch with you again.
Yes, it's great. This is so awesome. When I saw Colonel, I understand you were instrumental in figuring out where I was. And when I saw Colonel's text, I just
I mean, I could remember vaguely about Powell River, but it was actually, I'm still in touch with Heather Sinclair. Do you remember her?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I had a feeling that, I keep in touch with Heather pretty regularly. And I just had a feeling that she might still be in touch with Karma.
Yeah, well, Karma's not on.
Yeah, and so by getting in touch with Heather, she sort of went on to LinkedIn, and that's how we traced you. And all I did was just get the information that she'd given me and pass it on to the Colonel. But I'm glad we've made contact with you at last.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to catching up with everyone. I know that's going to take some time, but the crew bar seems like the right venue, and kudos to Steve for coming up with the idea, because this is awesome. And
I totally
we all have so
agree,
much to share.
And congratulations for doing so well since you left, Ray. I think you're really doing great. It was great to see. I mean it. I really mean it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Well, I went off in a completely different tangent, and now I actually feel like I'm probably going off on another tangent, because I'm not sure. After 20 years in sitting in front of a computer and actually ended up with high blood pressure, which I've now resolved from such a stressful job. It's time to look at something that's more relaxing.
Well, Ray, if you've got high blood pressure, I was going to do an advert. I don't recommend you read this book.
Oh no! Is that your book, Peter?
Yeah, that's volume 2. It had to be a trilogy. I've actually there's one called Not Wanted on Voyage, which is the first one, and then I've just got that one out, which is the second one. I haven't quite started work on the third and last one yet.
And you are in the second one, right? You are.
I'm in the second one.
Yeah, you are. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I looked online to try to find your book, and I couldn't find it. But now I know. So, or maybe you could send us a link where I can purchase them.
Yeah, it's Amazon basically.
Not Wanted on Voyage. Okay.
Yeah, but I write under the name of Peter Langton.
Oh, that's why I was searching Peter Pratt. I got lots of Peter Pratts, but not you.
Right.
Yeah. I can send you a link if you like. I'll get your email off the Colonel or Dave.
Okay, yeah.
Just talking about the Colonel, I've got something coming in, so you may all want to pay attention to this. We'll see what happens.
Okay, what is it?
Hello, hello. Yeah, yes, he's here. I'll let you talk to him.
Well, Ray Zachary, found at last. It's always good to see old friends back where they started, having a drink with their mates back in the good old crew bar. Several times on the show, people have asked, has anyone seen or heard from Ray Zachary? Does anyone know where he lives? And what does he do for a living now? For longest of time, the puzzle remained. So, Ray, pull up a stool, old friend, pour yourself another drink, and join in the jolly old crew bar joshing and reminiscing about the good old days on the Sun Princess. By the way, remember my mother, Mrs. Gasflannel? This all goes to show you can run from the crew bar, but you can't hide. They will find you, even in deep Canada. Cheers, Ray.
Well, we're still quiet. Hello to Sue in Spain. Sorry, you were having trouble coming in, Sue. And Taffy's in Switzerland, in Geneva.
And Charlie in Bermuda.
No, Charlie. Where's Charlie? Hang on,
Sue's still muted.
Charlie, good to see you.
Likewise. John, unmute.
No, they can
Ray,
unmute
you're
themselves.
still muted.
What to do?
I can't control that, Steve. It's not rocket science.
Sue, look, well done for coming back in. There is a little button at the bottom of your screen somewhere to unmute yourself because your Colonel muted everybody. But see if you can see the red thing for unmuting.
Yes,
well done. And welcome.
MP,
Good to see
Stevens.
you.
Colonel, can I, when I get a minute, Colonel, can I just answer a few questions that came up in the last few crew bars? One was, I said I would try and find out about Bob Ellingham, and from what I can find out, he has definitely died, and some years ago. Nobody can actually remember when, but he is definitely he's definitely passed on.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, actually.
Secondly, I think Brendan a couple of weeks ago was talking about Fluffy on the Sun Princess, the cook, and everybody was trying to remember who he was, and it was Tony Kerslake.
Kerslake, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that was his name, and he was known as Fluffy, and I've actually made mention of him in my book because there was a certain time when he was going on leave just before Christmas. And if everybody remembers what we used to do, we used to give all the post for the UK to somebody to post at Heathrow. And I was on the same flight. It was about 5 days before Christmas. And everybody gave their post to Fluffy because he would post it at Heathrow, whereas I had an onward flight up to the north of England. Anyway, Fluffy had a little bit too much to drink just before he left the ship, and even more on the flight on the way home. And he put all this mail on top of all his galley uniforms in his case. And when he gets home, feeling a bit the worse for wear, as far as he was concerned, all he had in his case was his cook's uniform, and he just shoved the case under the bed, where it remained for 4 weeks. until he picked his case up to return to the ship. In the meantime, there was absolutely all hell going on the bloody ship because people weren't getting, families weren't getting the checks everybody had sent home for Christmas and God knows what else. And people were having to make expensive calls to their banks to get checks cancelled and all the rest of it. So when Fluffy returned 4 weeks later, of course, he was met by a sort of deputation at the gangway and swore he knew nothing about it at all till he got down to his cabin, undid his case to take his cook's uniform out, and there on the top, where it had been for 4 weeks, was all the boys' mail. He kept a very low profile for a while. The only other point I wanted to make was last week, I think it was Jimmy Gisborne, somebody else had mentioned about was anybody on the old Oriana when the Queen Mary, the original Queen Mary, left Southampton for its final voyage out to Long Beach. And I was a purser cadet at the time, and I was working by the Oriana at that time. I tried to go on board. It was in, November 1967.
Yeah.
I tried to go on board, but the security wouldn't allow it. But I did watch, everybody on the Oriana, we all stood on the deck because the Queen Mary was in the next berth and watched her sail from Southampton. The whole of Herbert Walker Avenue was lined with people. A lot of them sort of people who'd, been in the war or traveled on it when it was a troop ship and all the rest of it. And we watched it sail, and they had an RAF fly past, which was terrific. And it was a very moving occasion. And some years later, when I was hosting a passenger table, I think it was on the Island Princess, on the table, there was a guy who had been the bunkering engineer on the Queen Mary. He'd married an American girl, and he was now living in the States, but he'd been the bunkering engineer on there for some time. And then later on in 1992, I had a lady on my table, American lady, who'd been on that last voyage from Southampton out to Long Beach. And she'd flown over from the States, especially to do the voyage. And well, after she got off the ship, she sent me some memorabilia, things like a silver teaspoon. She sent me a sort of gold, I'm trying to put it up here, a gold tie pin of the ship, a small soap dish with Queen Mary on it, and a menu from the last night on the ship, the night before it got into Long Beach. Wow. And so it's I've kept them all these years because I think it's just a nice bit of memorabilia.
Antiques Roadshow, Pete. Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. Along with yeah, absolutely.
Can I just touch on what you said about the ship's mail and people taking mail home? Yeah, Colin, I think this is actually Colin, and Colin was on there and now he's dropped off. It was either Colin or Bonbon. I can't remember which one, but I'm pretty sure it was either one of those.
Yeah.
That Sammy Bradford, Captain Sammy Bradford, would check the crew list to see who was going home on leave at the end of the week. And one day he went down, and I'm pretty sure this was the Union Jack bar. He went down, he had some mail that he wanted posted. And he went down and said to either Colin or Bonbon, I understand you're going home on leave at the end of the week. I've got some mail here. Would you mind taking it and posting it at Heathrow on your way home? And he said, yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. It will give me something to read on the plane.
Okay,
he took the mail back. He took the mail back and didn't give it to him.
I need to explain something. Our anchorman, due to the storm, does not have internet, so he's on his phone, so he can't see who's in. We have Mandy, we have Colin, we have Alistair.
Right, well, this is an absolute bonus. This is on page 22 of my phone.
So Ray, can you see Colin Doughty there?
Yes, Colin.
Donut. Good to see you.
Hello,
I'm Mandy.
How are you,
I'm
Colin?
Mandy's there.
Yeah, sound, mate. You?
I'm good. You know what? I feel especially bad about not reaching out to you because, well, one, I was saying earlier before you came on, you were instrumental in making me go back to sea the second time because I was selling real estate in Newton Abbott.
Yes.
Yeah. And one day, so I've been selling real estate for about a year, and the phone rings one day and I answer it, and there's this and he goes, I want to speak to Ray Sacre. I said, yep, that's me. And he goes, well, you sold me my house. And I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, and the roof's blown off. And I'm like, what? And it was you, and I think it was JR just showed up. You were somewhere in the area, and you came, and we went out, and I don't know if we had lunch, but we just visited briefly. And that one little meeting made me miss the sea so much. I pretty much was determined to go back.
Well done, Colin. Thank you for that. And Mandy, give us a wave, but we can't hear you. You're on mute.
No, she's
You're
not.
on mute, baby. But we can see you, all right. We can see you. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's there.
lovely.
She's there.
Hi, Mandy.
Hello, boys. I've missed you all. I'm so sorry I've been AWOL for like years and years and years now. But work got in the way again. But how's everybody? All well? All survived storms, etc.?
Yes, thank you, Mandy.
Well, I've been out on the road every bloody day. I've been swimming. I've been building snowmen. So I had to take up kayaking yesterday down the road and flying cars everywhere. So, sitting in Tesco's car park yesterday at Cleethorpes in the blizzard. So, hey, it's all good.
It sounds marvellous, Mandy.
Yeah, bloody marvellous.
Again, we like it when you're in your car, when you're actually on the road. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, talk about on the road. On the road, we've got Taffy over in Geneva. Taffy, how are you?
All's well in Geneva. I've had a wonderful day. I went to Montreux today.
Montreal.
And I'm the only guy on this little site, and it's the only person, I should say, on this site, and it's so peaceful. I don't really want to move on, but I'm heading south tomorrow. I'm going to head down to the south of France.
Can someone tell me how to spell Geneva?
David,
Geneva.
David, can I just butt in?
Yes.
Can I just butt in? I've just had a phone call from Philip, the boss. Unfortunately, he's not able to get in, but he wants to send his best regards to Ray.
Thank you.
Very nice. And well, we've got an interlude, a brief interlude. Well, we've got so many.
Actually, Dave, while I got your attention, can you introduce one of our senior editors to Ray Zachary, Mr. Fruity, who's in charge of all this?
Where is Fruity? Oh, yeah. So Ray, Fruity is actually got a backdrop of the fruit machine. I think you did have.
Yeah,
you still got,
I
see it. Yeah.
So it's Dave, and Dave sailed with us on many of the ships. Ray, I don't think you met up though, did you?
I don't think I know Dave. I don't think
I never worked on the West Coast. I was only Oriana, Canberra, and Sea Princess, so we wouldn't have met up. Your name, but it's nice to see you tonight, and welcome.
Well,
thank you.
Watching Dave.
I've just gone on to page 23, and I've just seen Steve. Steve, you're on mute, but you're looking good. All right. And Bobo's back. Bobo.
The other thing is, Mr. McCullum's very quiet.
Where is he?
On mute. Steve's on. No, he's not. He's off.
Oh,
mute.
he's on page 21. That's all right. Alistair.
Bobo's on mute. No, he's not now.
I've just unmuted it. Yeah.
So Ray, behave yourself, because we've got a lot of pursers in tonight with Graham in California, and obviously we got the Leeds book writing Pratty, and we've got the Scottish representative Alistair. So behave yourself.
And you were a person, Dave.
That was only on a Diddy. That was on a Diddy ship. All right, that's not. And Ollie, where are you, Ollie?
Hi, Ollie.
He's up there. He's there. Hi, Ollie.
Who's speaking to me? Dave?
Ollie, have you said hello to Ray? And
hello,
to
Ray.
the others?
Hello, Ollie. I've been dying to talk to you. There's so many of you that I can't wait to talk to you one-on-one. And like I said to Dave and the Colonel, I've got so many stories that not necessarily were my personal stories, although in many of them I was kind of in the thick of it. And you feature in a number of them. And also, like, I've been going through reminding myself, this has been a huge prompt to my memory. I just, like, you're just talking about pursers, and I've got stories about pursers like Jeremy Merrick and Richard Bull. I think it's Richard Bull.
Dickie Bull.
Dickie Bull.
Yeah.
And Dickie Harris. and all kinds of things that happened. Some of them I was like right in the middle of the whole thing.
Well,
Right?
it's already in the book, Ray.
Well, I don't know whether these will be in the book. Maybe they will be. I can give you lots of material, Peter.
Hi, Ray. Can I just say, you were looking for Kiwi, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. No, I don't know where he is, I'm afraid, but I have got a great photograph of him in women's underwear.
If you could post that to me, Mandy, I'll post it.
Oh, well, yes. We had some a lovely crowd of young gay fellows from Wisconsin on the Royal. So he was in the horizon and we're all dressed in women's underwear, male and female. Yeah, it was just hilarious.
That sounds like
early hours of the morning, of course. Yeah, yeah. I'll say no more.
So now Noel in Ireland. It's good. I'm just flicking over. I can see you now. How are you doing this week? And how is Seamus?
Yeah, we're doing fine. Yeah, we're just the same as I don't remember Ray on the Sun. I think I just left. I left in '79, Ray. I think just before Andy Hitchcock was there with me, and I think Phil Butcher was the chief barman. But I don't remember you. I left in '79.
I was there 78 to 84.
Yeah.
I was there till '79, so I must have sailed with you.
Yes.
Ray
the only Irishman I remember, apart from Kevin, was Pat Flaherty.
You were both in the Skagway race, Noel. I got video of it.
The Skagway race where I
got a video of you and Ray in the Skagway race. I'll post it right in here.
Because I got third prize and Brendan Cole reckons I tripped him up on the last 100 yards. And I beat him for third place. I remember the Skagway race. We went up to the lake and back, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. I was on it.
I'll show you the video where you're both in the same frame, so that'll prompt your memory.
Yeah, but I don't remember you, Ray. I don't know where you were. I don't. But I was in. Well, I was in all the bars. I don't know all the bars on the Sun Princess up in the Starlight. I was with Vince. Remember Vince? Vince Greeley.
Vince Greeley.
Yeah.
Vince Grebo.
Yeah. Grebo. Yeah. And Nevin and I were up in the Starlight.
Yeah.
I can't remember half the names, but I was on most of the bars, but I don't remember you. I can't remember your face because you probably look the same. Everybody else looked older. I can recognize them all.
Well, I remember Vince. I remember Vince Grealish, and I remember Nevin. In fact, picture of a champagne fountain that had basically self-destructed when we were on an Alaska cruise. That I was doing a handover to Nevin. He traveled with us for a week, and Sue Huggins was the purser, and whoever was driving the ship went round a sharp corner inadvertently right at midnight, and Nevin and I were having a quick rum and coke in the bar behind the foyer after I actually built the bloody thing. And we suddenly felt the ship lurch, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's not good!" And then there was a loud crash, and the whole thing imploded. And I have a picture of it with a caption. It says, "Oh shit!" And I remember Sue Huggins wanted me to rebuild it on the spot, and we didn't even have that many glasses, right? So I was like, "No, there's no way we're going to rebuild this. It's done."
Ray,
yes.
I was actually there as purser at the time, and
Sue was
and Sue was DP. The guy who was on the bridge at the time was a second mate called David Box.
Okay.
And he had come from cargo ships, and he wasn't used to, they just sort of turned, sort of whichever way they wanted. They never had to think about things like champagne waterfalls or whatever. Anyway, forever after that, it was known as the Box turn.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I forgot. I knew Sue was there because Sue was very upset that it had.
She was DP and I was purser at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we got a moment. Another quick message. Obviously, welcome to Steve Watts from down in Australia. He always comes in. Good to see you, Steve. Can you hear us, Steve?
We can hear you. I got you. In and out.
He's gone out. He's gone back out. But also, Noel, you mentioned Brendan. Brendan sends his best to everyone in the crew bar. But as you know, and a few of us know, at the moment he's taking time out from the crew bar just so he can concentrate, keeping an eye and looking after with Sherry, who's not. Hopefully she'll be back out of hospital in a week or 10 days time, but she's had a few challenges, and fingers crossed she'll be back out in a week and a half's time maybe, and we'll see Brendan in the future.
I've been in touch with Brendan, and he told me the full story, and I know the story, and we're all rooting for him. Yeah, he'll be fine.
Absolutely. Yeah, cheers. So we're thinking of Brendan and Sherry when they do come in and look on the crew bar.
Yeah. He's been in touch with me, and I had a good chat with him the other night there, and
Brilliant.
I think things are looking good, please God, and we just wish them everything will be fine.
Thanks, Noel. And Stephen, can you see us and hear us in Sydney? I missed you waving. Did you wave?
Yeah. I mean,
good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Cheers for that.
It's all good. All good.
That's good. Now, Donut, have you got that wine being delivered around the crew bar yet?
Yes, yeah. All getting delivered it is. Your bottles are on the way. I haven't made any for months, actually, so I've still got a couple of racks full sitting there waiting to be drunk.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a shame we haven't got the continental restaurant for you to flog it in.
Colin, bring in 23 bottles next week, and you'll soon get rid of it.
Colin, have you heard from Dave Jukes?
What's that again, Dave?
Have you heard from Dave Jukes?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've been in contact. No problem. All done.
Good.
I've got a question. I got a question for Colin. So,
yes.
When you come to the reunion, are you going back up north on the same day or the next day?
Not sure yet. I haven't decided.
Because me and Mrs. Kling, we need a lift to Heathrow.
Okay, so
I'm real serious, Colin. Because
going up on the Saturday.
Saturday, because it probably costs us about 150 quid in an Uber.
It will do, yeah. Cost you an arm and a leg, mate.
But anyway, the crew bar is not the format for personal business, so I'll move on and back to Dave.
No,
that was bus driver to bus driver talk.
Yeah, it was. Yes. John, that doesn't seem. I don't think there'd be a problem with that. I think we can do that.
Well, then I love you as much as I love Steve Walker for getting my $8,000 from National Insurance.
We would head north anyway to not necessarily the Heathrow, but it's not that far for us. Be okay.
Wow.
So yes, John, take that as yes.
That's made my day, because as of now, we're in a funny situation. Because we're doing this cruise. God bless Cindy upstairs, right? She does all this stuff. So we're leaving Tampa, go on like a 7-day Caribbean nonsense thing, go to New York, and then we're on the same ship, but we've got to get off. So what happens if we get off and we test positive and we can't get back on? So it's going to be nerve-wracking, but we will make it.
Get somebody else to do the test.
Yeah.
Yes.
I put a question to Colonel.
Yeah.
Hi, Colonel.
Yes, Malcolm.
Did I hear you saying about something about a reunion?
No, I'm talking about the
it's the P&O luncheon.
P&O luncheon, yeah.
Right.
Do you know about that, Malcolm?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, obviously, as you know, we've been on here for quite a few weeks. But any reunion, I would really be interested in. Yes.
Ashley, you've been gone for months, Malcolm. It's not weeks.
Sorry, my mistake. Months.
Probably a year.
I
And also, While I've got the floor, normally Ray, Dave or Anchorman is fully in charge, but because of the storm, he doesn't. But I was instructed that newcomers are not allowed to get a bollocking the first time they're on. but there is a bollocking coming your way, and I might as well tell you what it is. Basically, Dave did send a letter to the paper mill in Powell River asking for you, but maybe you'd been fired by then, so they didn't care.
Yeah, it could have been.
Anyway,
I think Ray. I think when Ray started there all those years ago, he said, "If I ever get a contact by the name of Inge trying to look up me, say I'm not here."
I'm done. I'm done.
Hey, I'm used to getting bollocking, so it's
Colonel,
all
you were
good.
saying about the cruising. Angelo, how was your cruise? The ship looked wonderful.
Yes, I was on the Carnival Panorama to Mexico. It was quite. It's not a princess or anything else. It's just you get what you pay for, but it was okay. It was nice.
And where did you go? Which ports?
The usual one: Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Cabo San Lucas. Was a nice cruise. Yes, as you can see, we sail out of Long Beach.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Let's see the Spruce Goose.
No, boys and girls.
It's not there anymore. The Spruce Goose is gone. Well,
is it?
took off.
Lovely.
Gizzy
has just sent a message. He's apologised. He's stuck at Birmingham New Street after going to see Leicester lose at Wolves, and he's stuck there with apparently there's a tree on the line. So it might have only been a leaf, but I believe it's a tree.
I'll tell him to get in touch with us from the station. Use his data.
You could say that's another login.
Very good.
Very good. Very good.
I'd like. Can I just say hello to Alistair as well?
Yeah,
Alistair,
hi, Ray.
I can't really tell. You used to have a beard, but I can't tell if you've got a beard now or not.
Yeah, it was right into the woods.
Okay, yeah.
I did have a beard of a longer one.
Oh, you did? And did you stay working at sea?
Until 2001.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to retire medically.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. It's all right. But remember,
Ray, why did you ask that question? The bar's gone very quiet.
Okay, hands up. Who else had to retire medically from the sea?
all the hands up.
I know that Ollie had to retire medically because they got it, but they busted him on the train. Okay, that didn't go down very well, did it?
Yeah. You might have to explain that one.
Ollie missed that.
Ollie, tell them how you retired. It's fun stuff.
How did I retire?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just heading just after my 44th year at sea, and I went to work, and they tested me for alcohol in my system, and I got the sack.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
After 44 years at sea.
It was coming back from leave.
The weird thing was, it was near enough to the day when I first joined 44 years previous. I joined on the 6th of December in 73, and I got the boot on the 15th of December 2015. So that's how I got the sack.
And were you still working for Princess Cruises?
No, I was on I did the maiden voyage on the Royal.
Yeah.
And left in 84, and then went on the ferries from then.
I mean, I've heard, I really know nothing about the cruise industry today, but I've heard that they're much more stringent around alcohol consumption and things like this. And I remember that when I was working at sea, there was some BBC documentary that was on, and it was like, if you had, I don't know, 6 drinks in the evening, what time the next day would you be legally sober to drive? And based on that criteria, all of us were drunk the entire time we were working on the ship. Because
well, that's old news.
It's in the book, Ray. Ray, it's in the book. While I'm talking about the book, I got to say something. And I know that we think we get paid for sponsoring the book, right? But as I read it, I'm on the chapter right now when Pratt is in China, and he redirects the ship, and I almost get high blood pressure reading about the shit he got up to.
Peter,
Peter, you want to try living with him in a flat in Ealing? That's pretty painful as well.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us the stories, Graham. Come on now.
I got two stories. I lived in a flat with Peter in Ealing, and I lived in a semi-basement flat in Stoke Newington with Alistair way back in 1975.
I'm surprised you're all still alive to tell the tales.
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a booze fest, I have to say. We spent. I think we spent more time in the pub than we certainly did at Ealing College.
Well, I certainly remember Monday. I think it was Monday afternoons. We used to have housekeeping lectures. Neither Graham nor I liked the housekeeping lectures, so we used to go to the pub at lunchtime and have about 7 or 8 pints, and then go back to our room and sleep it off for the rest of the afternoon. How we ever passed the housekeeping exam, I have no idea.
No. Unfortunately, the lecturers left a little to be desired. So
yeah.
We won't go into that weekend down in Brighton either.
Oh Christ! Yeah. I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be in the next book now.
I think we spent the night on Malcolm Pierce's floor.
That's right. Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I won't tell a story today because I'm new to the crew bar, and you've probably heard all these stories anyway, right? But what I've been doing is I've actually been making some notes reminding me about certain situations and certain stories. And what I'd like to do is just take a couple of minutes to read to you these notes. They're very one-liner notes, and some of you may recognize some of these incidents, and if you don't, then we'll have to set up a time in the future when we can have on a subsequent crew bar when I can have a few minutes to tell one of these stories. So can I do that, John? I know it's running out of time.
You've got the floor. You've got the floor.
Okay, so this is my list of notes, and some of them are just names because I have stories around these individuals, like Jeremy Merrick. Kevin O'Halloran and Bailey's. That's a story about what happened when he and I were running the bar in Juneau. The UJ bar, Penis Banana. Phil. I so wish Phil was on the call, but I've got Phil. It just says, throw my penis over my shoulder, lovely wank, bawdy conversation. And right below that, I've got Peter Croucher, Phil, and the Wendy House, because they used to come up to the Wendy House on the back deck. Dave nicknamed it the Wendy House, a little bar that they built on the back deck of the Sun Princess. And they would come up there for 11 o'clock cocktails and have these outrageous conversations in front of the passengers that I have not forgotten. The thunderstorm, that's just a reference to when Dave and I were running that same bar going through Panama Canal, and that we were caught in a huge electrical storm, and it rained so hard the deck filled up with about a foot of water, and we almost got electrocuted. El Scenario Grande is a reference to Des, and I know Des passed away because I did something for his sister many, many years ago, but lots of fond memories of Des Grande. He was nicknamed El Scenario Grande by Andy Hiscox, who I also know is no longer with us. Mike Gold, Boat Drills, Dickie Harris, San Francisco Gay Bar, Dave will know about that. Inspected by Mike, most of you won't know what that is. JFG, which is Julie, Fred and Gare, that was the band on the Sunpeak, which we have lots of stories about. International Lounge, Rum Punch, and I've got a question mark on this. Was it Ollie? Ollie, were you and I involved? I don't want to tell the story right now, but we had a disaster when we were trying to set up the rum punch for the afternoon embarkation in San Juan, because I was thinking it was you, but I was ashore with somebody. We both got a bit drunk. We were late getting back. I think Pat Reed was the bar manager, and we ran into some problems getting the rum punch out to the terminal, which is the story I'll tell everyone. But was that you, Ollie?
I'm not
You'll
sure.
know if it was.
I'm going to have to think about that one.
Okay. Elevator meeting. Kevin covering for me. Kevin O'Halloran would disappear for 3 days at a time when I was working with him up in the Starlight Lounge. Literally, I wouldn't see him for 3 days.
No change
and I
there.
always
Then.
covered for him. And then one day he was covering for me because he didn't know where I was. He assumed I was late, but I was actually in hospital. And there was a big cruise masters party, and I was supposed to be setting it up, and he never showed. And then of course I never showed. Colin, so the Puerto Rican restaurant, there's a restaurant that we used to go to in Puerto Rico that's still there. It's been running for 57 years. And we used to go there.
La Zaragazona.
Zaragazona, yeah. It's still operating. And I have stories about that. All those who can't tap dance are queer. The time we... Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was
our flights were delayed, and we were stuck in Puerto Rico. There's a whole story about all of this, but we finally got on the plane, and somebody shouted out, "All those who can't tap dance are queer," and we started dancing as we were walking down the aisle, and the plane wings were waggling up and down like this. And then they wouldn't serve us any alcohol on the plane. We were already drunk anyway. This clown shoes, that's a reference to Steve Walker. Amstel O, that's a whole story in itself. Stowaway, I found a couple of stowaways at different times. Rasputin and the Cucumber. John Hilda might know about that story.
What's that?
I can't remember his name, but I have some stories about Rainbow, and I don't know. You'll remember Rainbow, Dave. Do you remember Rainbow?
Oh, we're still in touch with him. Yeah.
You are still in touch with him?
Yep.
Okay, great. That would be great. I'd like to. Aggie and Sammy Bradford. That's another story. Drunk in Sydney, Miss Ship. Dog Days Disco. That. Does anybody on the call remember the Dog Days Disco?
No.
You don't remember that? That was because one of the bakers went over to the Cunard. We used to be able to go on the Cunard and go to a crew bar, and apparently one of the hairdressers on the Cunard was an penthouse model or something like this, and he came back and was complaining that our Harrys, our hairdressers, the Harrys, were all dogs. They weren't.
Hey, steady on, though, steady on.
Oh no, this is what he was not having that. This is what he was saying. And the Harrys,
actually, Ray, you're up to 10 minutes. I thought you said 2 minutes.
Okay. The Harrys organised the Dog Days Disco as retribution, and I have a story about that. That's only half the list.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
we've got a lot going on with there, right?
Pat will be watching this recording, Zachary. You're in big doo-doo now.
Well, okay. I didn't say it was true. I'm just saying what the cook. I can't remember the cook's name. I just remember he came back.
Bit of backpedaling going on there.
Okay.
It caused a shitstorm.
Here's how it's going to go, Ray.
Yeah.
After we get off, what happens is we have a business meeting for the crew bar management, which is obviously Steve, Foodie, Pete Stevens, BBC sports editor, and Dave and myself. And they're going to say to me, "Who the bloody hell is this Ray Zachary you've got on here?" No, we love this. This has been one of the best crew bars, because think about it. We have Bermuda,
a lot of faces.
We have Spain, we have California, we have Canada, we have Scotland, Australia. Incredible.
Swindon.
Bermuda.
Swindon.
Yeah.
Swindon.
Lincolnshire.
Anyway, Dave, I think it's traffic light time, Dave.
It would be. Yeah, I would be. What I'll do, I'll just wave Peter's book. All right.
Peter, you might.
If that doesn't get everybody off,
page.
nothing will.
Oh, Ray, I've got a picture of the San Juan restaurant up behind me.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lovely, thank you.
I
Thank you
remember
for that.
That's Volker Schmidt.
Yeah.
Is that Volker Schmidt?
And
Is that
incidentally,
Ray, we got barred from there, never to go back ever again.
incidentally, that picture, you thought he'd have had a shave before he came out, wouldn't you?
I have a very, very quick story on that same theme, which, can I tell it very quickly?
Go ahead.
Yes, of course you can.
Captain John Young, when we sailed from Vancouver, he had some relatives that lived on the shore about an hour after we sailed from Vancouver. And he used to make an announcement, or they used to make an announcement, as the ship sailed by quite close to shore, he would make an announcement. It was usually in the middle of first sitting dinner. They would say, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are on deck, there are some very good friends of Captain John Young that live on shore, and each week they come out to wave as the ship goes by. And every week when they made this announcement, on the shore, you'd see this big lawn, and there'd be a family waving the Union Jack and the Canadian flag and things like this. It was usually about 6 or 7 people. And that happened every week when he was sailing from Vancouver. And then one week, they came on, they made the announcement, ladies and gentlemen, friends of Captain John Young, if you're out, please give them a wave. And on the shore was the family waving their flags and everything like that. But about 100 yards further down the beach, there were 6 guys mooning the ship.
The captain on the Costa Concordia tried to do something similar, actually.
Yeah, it was like that, very much like that. Yeah.
Well, it was the same in Seattle. We had a ferry doing the same thing, and he went aground. It was a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I know because I was there. I saw them. And after that, they didn't make the announcement anymore.
Dave, yeah. As is coming to the end of the crew bar, I see the red light up. Mr. Trainer's put the red light up.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk us out on when you got me logged?
A quick one. This was the when we were the wine stewards, wasn't it? And right, quick one then. We're coming back into Vancouver for the end of the cruise, and we used to have the immigration coming on to check all the passengers with their passports before they could get off. Well, it was a bit of a military procedure, as obviously Graham Pratty and Alistair would know. We used to have to get all the passengers up, and then they'd be split into different lines and go through and get checked. Well, they needed crowd control or guidance, and they used to use the wine stewards in the morning to help. Well, of course, it was like a 7:30 in the morning turn to get them all through, ready for disembarkation. And of course, last night of every cruise used to be a party night in the crew bar. Majority of the times it would be a fancy dress night, and this particular one I know was it was a toga party, and it was great do. Anyway, we stayed up as late as we did and fell through in the morning, and so we get a shake eventually, and we get up there only to find on this occasion we've got Phil Butcher and Dickie Bull as the doing our jobs because we weren't there. So we took over our responsibilities, and later in the day we're then taken up to see Dickie Bull in his office, and he said to us both, he said, well, you've obviously disappointed me. He said, but I'll give you a chance. He said, I'm going to give you a warning, I'm going to write it, and I'm going to keep it in my drawer in the office, and if you two boys are well behaved until the end of your tour, I will then tear up the warning. And I said, flipping it. I said, that's bloody hell. I said, Taffy goes home in 2 weeks, and I've only just come back. I've only just had 2 weeks. He said, take it or leave it. And I said, well, we took it, didn't we, Taffy? We took it. Yeah, we did. But Dickie Bull was great. He was really good with it. And look, boys and girls, I don't know, Pratty with Colonel. Traffic lights are up, I believe. Should we ask everyone to give a wave and thank you all for coming in, because this has been an unbelievable amount. But if you all keep waving, Colonel will start the music, and then just start pressing your disembarkation.
Yeah, there you go. That's good, Dave.
And start disappearing off your bar stools till next week.
Yeah.
So take care. Good to see you all.
Ray, good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes, really great.
This is Oscar from Ollie's Pocket with Oscar Tales. The Orient Line, post-First World War. A number of Orient Line vessels were engaged in repatriation of troops after the First World War. Later, Ormond repatriated wives and children of the armed services and government service officials. Also, Ormond did a run to Russia with vital arms and supplies and fresh volunteers for the royalist White Russian Army, fighting the rebel army of the Bolsheviks. With so many ships still in government service, the Australian mail and passenger service could not be restarted until October 1919. Just newly refurbished, Orontes commenced the service. 3 more ships joined in after ending their overhaul in shipyards in November 1919. They were Orsova, Orvieto and Ormond. Australian United Steam Navigation Company supplied Indara to complete the number of ships required for the service. She proved to be less than what was required, and as soon as a new ship was bought, she was replaced. The Orient Line bought 3 new ships from the British Shipping Controller. They were 3 ships of the former Norddeutscher Lloyd Shipping Company and were war reparations. Connigan Louise, 10,711 tons, became the Omar for Orient Line. The Prinz Ludwig, 9,704 tons, which became the Orchides in 1921, and the Zeppelin, 14,588 tons, which became the Ormuz in 1921. In 1923, 3 new vessels were ordered, 2 from Vickers Armstrong Yard at Barrow-in-Furness, and 1 from John Brown Shipyard. The company announced that their ships would not be 3 class, but only 2 class, they being first class and third class. The first was named Orama II, the first having been lost in the war. She was launched in May 1924 and was 19,770 tons. She was the first Orient ship to be fitted with Welland McLaughlin gravity davits for lifeboats. John Brown Shipyard launched a Ronzay in August 1925. She was 20,001 tons and had 2 Brown Curtis high reduction geared turbines. The third new ship was Otranto II, 20,032 tons. She was launched in 1926 and carried 572 first-class passengers and 1,168 third-class passengers. These ships were followed by 2 more 20,000-ton class liners, Orford in 1928, Narontes in 1929. Other events in this period of time were Ormond being converted to an oil burner and becoming 2-class only in 1923. Omar being sold to SS Byron Company in 1924. Otranto damaged her port bow on a cruise past Greece and had to be repaired in Southampton. The 1902 Orontes was sold for scrap in 1926, after being laid up since 1921. Orchides went for scrap in 1925. The Otranto hit the Japanese vessel Kitano Maru of 8,000 tons in 1928. The subsequent investigation dragged on through Admiralty Courts, the Court of Appeal, and finally the House of Lords, and it still ended up that both ships were equally responsible. Osterley went to the aid of the demasted bark Pommern, a German training ship, in 1928. The ship was in a severe storm with gale-force winds. She was joined in a rescue quest by Lancastria, Madiana, Rohan, and the tug Heros. The crew of the bark Pommern was rescued and put aboard the tug Heros. During the rescue, Osterley suffered storm damage and had to seek repairs at the shipyard. In 1930, Osterley was sold to a Glasgow shipyard called P&W McClellan and was scrapped. In 1930, the Depression began to bite into Orient Line profits, and times were difficult. Orvieto was scrapped in 1931. Also in 1931, the 2 older ships were converted to 1-class tourist class ships. They were Ormond and Orsova. On the 19th of March 1932, the Sydney Harbour Bridge was opened, and the occasion was celebrated by a grand opening day with a sail past of a fleet of ships under the bridge. The second ship under the bridge in the parade was Orford of the Orient Line. As she passed under, her mast was only 2.43 metres from the deck of the bridge. In 1934, the Depression eased, and with Orient Line profits increasing, a new ship was launched. In 1935, the Orion was launched at the Barrow-in-Furness shipyard. She was the 4th ship built for the line by Armstrong Vickers. She was different in decor to the preceding ships built in this 20,000-ton class. The Orion was an Art Deco-style ship, and she celebrated being a ship rather than the style of previous ships, whose interiors were designed to look more like an English country house and hid the fact they were ships. She had all newly designed modern furniture and an open look in the public rooms. The first-class dining room and some cabins had air conditioning, a first on Orient Line. She also had a sprinkler system as a precaution against fire. Some staterooms in the first-class section had windows fitted instead of portholes. Another first was the colour of her hull. She had a corn-coloured hull. She also sported only a single funnel and single mast. On her maiden voyage, she answered an SOS call from the Cunard White Star line at Doric. The P&O liner Viceroy of India also went to the stricken liner's aid. She was in thick fog, and the Orion took aboard 686 of Doric's passengers and 24 crew. In 1936, Orsova was sold for scraps. She was the last of the pre-First World War built ships to leave the fleet. In May 1937, King George VI's Coronation Naval Review took place at Spithead. Orient Line had Otranto, full of fare-paying passengers at the event, and she sailed as a one-class ship. In July 1937, the Orkney's second of 23,436 tons was launched at Barrow in Furness. She was very similar to the Orion. She was noted for her openness and modern functional good looks. The uncluttered first-class games deck was much praised, and the port cabin also came in for much admiration. She was twin-screwed with 6 Parsons-type geared steam turbines and ran about 20 knots. However, in 1939, after engine problems, she had to be sent back to the shipyard at Barrow for a refit. On the 2nd of September 1939, the whole world changed, and the Second World War started. Things for the Orient Line were about to become very grim indeed. Well, that's all, folks, for this week.
Captain, welcome. How are you doing? Very well, sir. And could you tell the Channel 4 viewers what your job is going to be today?
Well, I'm going up to warn the bears off. So I have my little tinkle bell here, so that there'll be no problems with the bears, and I'm quite sure there'll be no alarming incidents during the trip. And I'm looking forward to being up there with Bungy and Louise, and just making sure there's all fair play.
Well, thank you very much. I have got a radio, the gangway one, so we will be in contact with you, and you can let us know what's going on as they arrive.
Well, I hope so, and perhaps we should just check that we're both on the same channel. Are you on channel 1 off?
Channel 1, and that's correct there, is it?
That's correct, yes. Perhaps we just do a little check.
Okay.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. How do you read, Colonel?
I read very well, sir. Shall I just come back to you on that?
Just give me a quick check, please.
Okay, Colonel Kling to Deputy Captain, is that a copy?
That's a roger on that one.
Okay, we have radio communication. Hopefully we'll stay in communication. I know you're busy, and off you go, and we'll see you after the race.
We'll give you a quick check on the way up.
Okay, early on, we interviewed the Deputy Captain at the top of the mountain. Now we have Captain Bradford. Welcome to Channel 4 and this great event this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Colonel, and very nice to be here. Very nice to be asked to able to start them off.
Captain Bradford is going to be firing the starting gun from the bridge wing. Is that correct, sir?
No, I shall fire down here. It's one that I've fired from the big city of Skyway.
Oh, that makes it even more dramatic. And of course, there's only I believe one officer. Rodney said one officer competing. Unfortunately, one had to drop out. So. Yes, well, here they come. Here they come. We have Nick Howard, Stuart Bucock, Malcolm, who's a favourite, Dave Hinge, Alamo, Keith, and Mark. We are going to be interviewing quite a few of these as they come down. Kate, Race, Malcolm. You're the favourites today. We'll be going over to the betting board in a minute. You're 2-1 on. So, Malcolm, is this pressurising you in any way?
No, not really, no.
Said that in the last 2 years you've been smoking. Here they come. Here they come. We have Nick Howard, Stuart Bucock, Malcolm, who's a favourite, Dave Hinge, Alamo, Keith, and Mark. We are going to be interviewing quite a few of these
as they come down. 8th race, Malcolm. You're the favourites today. We'll be going over to the betting board in a minute. You're 2-1 on. So, Malcolm, is this pressurising you in any way?
No, not really, no. I feel confident, but it's anyone's race at the moment.
Malcolm, a lot of people I've spoken to said that in the last 2 years you've been smoking and maybe you're not the fit man you were in 1978. How do you feel about these rumours?
Oh, well, I've practiced smoking a couple of times, but as I say, I feel confident.
Okay, thank you very much, there's Malcolm. We're going to be seeing a few more people. We'll just go round. If Malcolm can follow me. Let's see who we got over here. As we come towards the betting board, very famous personality, Dave Hinge. Please come, welcome. David, did you go in the 78 race, Dave?
No, unfortunately I was home on leave at the time, but I saw your production.
Yeah, David, very well-known personality. He's known in the movie world and the television world, and of course you're trying to... What's the odds on you today, Dave?
I'm 50-1 actually. This is due to the lack of betting on me, but I feel confident myself. I've betted on myself. I am the only person who has betted on myself. That's going to be $100 for me at the end of the race, okay?
Well, thank you very much, David. We're going to just go over to see our chef, Brian, Honest Brian, see how the betting's going. Brian,
hello,
welcome. Here we have Brian, the chef. Honest Brian, how's the betting going, Brian?
Well, there's a lot of late money going on Fraser at 33-1, so we had to take him down a bit quick to 10-1. But there's still the hot favourite, be Gianni and also Malcolm. But there's a lot of money going on the outsiders, so it's anybody's race. And I for myself would give a tip if only Sebastian Coe would come and join us.
There you go. The words from Honest Brian. Taking all the money over here. If Malcolm would come with me here. Mr. Zachary, Raymond Zachary, please. Welcome. You, Brian, what's the betting on Raymond here? Yeah, Raymond, you're not down very good today.
30-1.
30-1. How do you feel about this?
Well, I'm really confident of a win today here, Johnny, but the wind is in the wrong direction. I don't know whether the wings are going to work. They're looking a bit flat at the moment, but I think I'm going to have a problem during takeoff. But we'll see how it goes. We'll just go for it. I've got a good run up here. I'll have to miss that bus up there, but I think we'll manage it.
Yeah, of course, all you Channel 4 viewers will remember Mr. Zachary here when he played the famous part of the Bald Eagle. Will that help you in any way, playing the part of the Bald Eagle?
Oh yes, I've gotten a lot of practice there, and if there's anybody who's going to pass me, just watch out for the droppings, because I've got another bucket load here.
Well, thank you very much. Stuart Bucott, please come to the Channel 4. Thank you very much. Stuart, you on Channel 4.